Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, we're going to be testing out some new products from a company called Advantec. Leather grips and lead, is it lead? Strips. Stay tuned. All right, so a company called VT Advantec contacted us and said, hey, we got some cool lead tape. And I'm like, how you gonna make lead tape cool? It's just lead and it's a sticker and it's weight, right? So I looked them up a little bit, and so apparently these are really special weighting strips. I don't know if they're necessarily made out of lead, but what it does is it basically distributes the vibration through the lead strips and dampens it instead of just being straight up weight. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'd like to try some. They also sent us leather grips that are quality controlled. And again, the energy, the way it's made, vibration is distributed and dissipates throughout that grip. So, I mean, you guys know I don't use leather. I use lead, but I don't use leather. So what I'm gonna do is take both of these, and I'm gonna take Coach Andrew's racket and experiment with his, because he was up for this. And he said, put it on my racket, let's see how it goes. So that's what I'm gonna do. Stay tuned. All right, so I got the cool looking box here. Man, there better be an iPhone in this thing, the way it's packed. Whew, look at that. It's like some Mission Impossible thing going on here. All right, Jesus. Where's my iPhone? Where's my earbuds? Look at this, how it's packed. You peel it off. Whoa. That's it. Look, there's your lead. I'm gonna take this to the scale later and test that out. Let's see what the, man, this better be the iPhone. I mean, I love this box, guys. Like, that's an awesome box. Here's the leather grip packaging. Whoa, look at this leather. I'm gonna peel it out for you. Whoa, I can feel the weight on this though. I could definitely feel the weight on this. That actually, it actually doesn't feel like leather. See, it feels really smooth. From what I read, this is actually calfskin. So, yeah, that's weird. It doesn't feel like leather. All right, so let's test it out. All right, so I got Coach Andrew's racket here with me. I stripped down his lead and I stripped down his grip, the grip that came with the Yonex rackets. And I'm gonna actually put VTAdvantec's grip on and use the lead in his racket, or the weight strips in his racket. But what I wanted to do is weigh it before I add this stuff, just to see how much all this weighed to his racket. So I'm gonna weigh it before, and then I'm gonna weigh it after I'm done. Okay, stay tuned. All right, so at the scale, we're gonna weigh Coach Andrew's racket without anything on it. $298.5. Okay. All right, so let's add the stuff on. Okay, so let's start with the calfskin leather grip. So let's take a look at the back. There's no adhesive on this, so there's nothing to be peeled off. This is going to stay on from this one layer that they've placed on here. It's like an anti-slip layer behind the leather. So you don't really need to do anything except just start putting the grip on. Make sure I do it right. Okay, one time around, start tensioning good. Yeah, I could tell this grip is a little on the narrower side this way, because which leather grips tend to be. So grip tip for you guys. So this, I overlapped it maybe a little too much, so I feel like this being taller, so it's not flat all the way through. So I'm gonna actually undo this. I gotta find a happy medium here so that it feels flat. There. So actually I'm over gripping a little more to make that flat feel. Because if you do it if you underdo it, like if you don't overlap enough, sometimes there's divots that you can feel, like divot at every point of overlap. So there, that's flatter. Okay, so I'm at the end here. It looks like this is I'm not gonna trim much off. All I'm doing at this point is just making it look pretty. So you guys know, right? Cut from the bottom up, just like what I did, just so the lines all line up. And we'll finish it up. Just to let you know, for some of you who questioned about, oh, it's a 1 gram here or half a gram there, you put a little too much of this, it'll start adding weight too. So everything adds weight to things. Okay, so that actually feels pretty good right there. Coach Andrew said he wanted more weight in his rackets too. So what I'm gonna do, each one of these things weigh 0.8 grams. So I'm gonna actually use all 4 of these on 3 and 9, and then use another pack and put it at 12. So we're gonna add 6 of these strips. So we're putting 4.2 grams on Coach Andrew's racket. Okay, so I got the lead. I peeled it already. Man, this thing I feel is real sticky. So I'm gonna start. So first I'm gonna measure here just to see where the center point could be and would be. So I'm gonna go at that Y right there. Okay, I'm gonna take another strip and just put it over here. Line it up. These things are thick. I can feel it. It's as tall as his grommet holes. Okay. And I gotta make sure I'm on the other side. So the key here, here's a key. When you're measuring lead, or where to put lead, right? You find the fat hole, which is that fat hole, and another fat hole is there. So we go fat hole, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5. So 5th hole is where you start from the fat hole. So you go to the other side, fat hole, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can start right there. That's gonna align perfectly, okay? Yep, double check it. Because fat hole there, 5 down. I'm in like Flynn, okay? In like Flynn. Do the same thing on the other side. In like Flynn, okay? Okay, backing up. Sides are done. Good weight. Okay, now we go for 12 o'clock. Isometric here, right where isometric is. So you know that isometric is going to be centered usually. So, oops. It should be right about, I'm just eyeballing this, but this looks centered to me. Because fat hole, 1, 2, 3. 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 Just a hair more to the left. And a little more. Right there. Right there. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take this. As you guys probably know, customizing is a little tedious. Okay. There. That's it. All right, so we just added all this lead to Coach Andrew's racket. VTAdvantec weights. Wow, that feels pretty good. Let's go weigh it. At the scale, 328 grams. So we roughly added about 29 grams to Coach Andrew's racket. And that's before stringing it. So, all right, let's see how the weight activates, and let's see how Coach Andrew likes this grip. All right, stay tuned. All right, so we just got off the court. My man, Coach Goo. Coach, what'd you think of the leather grip and the weighting strips?
Leather grip, I was very pleasantly surprised. It is very thin. That's the first thing I've noticed. Harry told me that he was like gripping this many times, and honestly, like, it's very thin, but it felt really good. It felt really good on the hands. Get to feel like part of the like the racket itself. So I actually got a little. It actually surprisingly absorbed a lot of the contact and the shock. Going to the strips, they're actually it changes the racket completely. I felt it was really balanced out. Like, surprisingly, I heard these are stretchy, so you stretch them out and you just put them on. But honestly, I loved just the weight of it because it balanced out really well throughout the racket. And when I was hitting through the shots, there's couple shots I hit that were like a little bit off target, and usually I would feel it with all my rackets that I used with lead. But with this, it actually just absorbed all that shock, and I still got around with it, which is really, really impressive. So like, I can deliver the same kind of ball when just a little bit off target, which is very surprising to me. But overall, I mean, really, really good product. I would recommend for people to try it out for sure.
So Coach Chris was watching us hit, and I was like, hey Coach, you should definitely try this since you're in the market for a new racket. Maybe we redesigned it and you would like it even more. And Coach, what did you think?
Yeah, I really did like it. The weight distribution too. But definitely like the lead tape, the addition of it was, I think, really spot on. I thought as I was hitting through it, it felt stable versus what I'm using, kind of regular old lead tape. Definitely Advantec, you know, their lead tape, they do it right. It's definitely the high quality stuff. And then the lead tape, the leather grip. Sorry, I definitely prefer something a little bit. I would probably want to put something over the leather grip. It just felt like when I was swinging through, especially on like a few of the faster shots that I was hitting with Q, it was just didn't for my hands. It just felt a little bit too rough for me. But other than that, with the lead tape, I made me think about the Onyx again. So, yeah.
And the search continues. Okay, so when I first started swinging this racket, I was like, whoa, this is well balanced now. Like this leather grip balanced out with that lead almost perfectly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. When I started swinging it, I was like, oh, this is balanced out perfectly. It felt perfect. The one thing that I did notice with the lead, though, is that it did dampen a little bit, but not too much. So it dampened the major shock, and it kind of dissipated it throughout, where it kind of went through the frame and then kind of left. So it didn't kind of resonate as long as with regular lead on the racket. So it did exactly what it was supposed to do, is kind of deaden the vibration, but not too much of the feel.
Yeah.
So you still got feel out of it. You still got pop out of it. So I was like, hey, I'm actually shocked that this performed kind of like what it was supposed to do. Right, guys? Mm-hmm. Coach, any final words on the stuff?
Honestly, I'm very surprised. I mean, I didn't know there were other lead tape or similar stuff, anything similar to this on the market, but like it actually caught my eye, and now I might switch over to it because it's such, it helps me create more power, more stability, and it helps me save my arm a little bit.
Right, exactly.
So why not?
Kill some of that vibration, not the feel though. Coach Chris is going to switch this right now because that's what he does. All right. So I'm just going to talk for you. All right. Sharing his Advantec weighted strips and calfskin leather grip with us. All right. Gu, where can we find you?
You find me at ag.tennis. I'll also be posting that content there as well.
All right. Want to also thank my man, Coach Chris. He's going to take a break from you still. All right. You guys know where to find me. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.